Today we'll be going over the levator scapula muscle. The plan is to discuss its origin, insertion, nerve, and actions of it, and then we'll go over the line of pull and how that relates to the action for the levator scapula. And then as a special consideration, I'll talk briefly about the passive insufficiency position that's good for stretching the muscle. The origin of the levator scapula is at the transverse processes of C1 through C4, so right along here. It inserts at the superior medial border of the scapula. It is innervated by the dorsal scapular nerve. And there are a lot of actions for the levator scapula. So it does scapular elevation, scapular downward rotation, which we'll cover a little bit in the other program. And then when we look at the cervical spine of the neck, it's going to have multiple actions there as well. So it's going to do cervical extension and then ipsilateral cervical lateral flexion. So in other words, the levator scapula on the right side will laterally flex the neck to the right side. And then it also does ipsilateral cervical rotation. So the levator scapula on the right side will rotate the neck to the right. Let's go into the other program and look closer at the levator scapula, which is the one that's highlighted here. So if we were to go and draw in the line of pull, it would be going up this way, where when it contracts, the insertion point right here at the scapula would be moving towards the origin. Okay, so that's what it looks like there. And then let's take a look at the actions as well. So this is what scapular elevation looks like. And this will make sense with the lines of pull that I just drew, why that happens. And then for downward rotation of the scapula, we'll see why it does that. So it's going to downwardly rotate the scapula. If you look at the inferior angle of the scapula here, it's moving that way. And that's because the levator is pulling on it in this direction, like we drew in earlier. The thing I want to do is cover the passively insufficient position for the levator, which will be good for stretching it. So in the neck, there will be cervical flexion. And then you also want to do scapular depression. So in this picture, you can see he's grabbing the bottom of that bench to pull that shoulder blade down. And then also you want cervical lateral flexion and rotation to be to the opposite side of the levator that you're trying to work. So in this example, he's trying to stretch out that right levator. So he's laterally flexing his neck to the left, and he's also rotating or looking to the left in order to fully stretch it. And that's the levator scapula.